Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw. I'm here in Malta and actually just got done with an incredible tour the last 4 days of this wonderful island. I'm with my certified official guide, Cynthia Zamit Mampel? Mampel, because it's been Cynthia to me for the last 4 days, and she has just given me a tremendous overview of Malta. I sort of had a crash course, Malta 101, and there's so much more that we could have gone to. So we're going to talk about, we're going to do day by day, and this is going to be the first day that we did a lot the first day, so we're going to go a little while. So you're going to hear all about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Cynthia, first of all, as I said, boy, it was an amazing guide. You've been an amazing guide. Really have given me sort of a prime. But that first day, I mean, I met you, and we were actually this time we were at the Corinthia Palace, and now we're actually at the Phoenicia Hotel. But tell me, how we started off actually in a place I never thought of, was that there is a prehistoric side to Malta that dates back even before, like, Stonehenge, right?
Yes, of course. Well, hello for me, hello for Malta. We visited the prehistoric temples. Our islands are very, very old, small islands in the centre of the Mediterranean with over 7,000 years of history. And we went to visit the prehistoric temples of Hajar Maltese being a Semitic language. And that really and truly in English would translate, meaning Hajar is a precious stone, Eem is worship. Okay. So the worship of precious stone. Because we believe there was a practice inside these sites, beautiful freestanding monuments, outdating the pyramids, outdating Stonehenge. So we're going into a time span of about 3,600 BC.
Yeah,
Definitely
worth the saying, because you didn't realize these are, as you said, older than pyramids. And of course, this was a civilization that then a few thousand years later just disappeared, right?
Just disappeared from the islands, leading us to a Bronze Age man with a metal tool, because that was the beauty of our prehistoric temples. No metal tools were ever found. And then later on we have the Phoenicians, which brought the language to Malta, because a lot of people are baffled about our language.
It is a different language, because it's a Semitic language, but you have sort of our normal spellings. It's not an Arabic spelling, right?
Yes, we use the Roman alphabet, but then of course our position in the Mediterranean here, we've been influenced. We're a bit of a melting pot, if I can dare say so. You know, the culture from the north of us, Sicily's only 90 kilometers north, so whoever's coming this way, Sicily, Malta, we're just below Sicily, and then 290 kilometers south is the first tip of North Africa. So we're a bit of a melting pot when it comes to our language, when it comes to our culture, traditions, and also our cuisine, which is also
worth trying. Talking about the cuisine, we were lucky enough to try some of it. It was absolutely amazing. Now, so we went from those temples, which were sort of a good beginning point, because I didn't really know anything about them, and then we went to kind of a more scenic place. We went to what you have, a blue grotto too, right? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, being islands, as you can imagine, we're surrounded by sea, but we're in the Mediterranean. And Malta has been declared to have the cleanest waters in the Mediterranean. So rightfully so, where you can get a little boat to experience those grottos, those caves, you have to do it. Another thing the islands are renowned for, underwater diving. Yeah. But that's, of course, if you want to go a little bit deeper to appreciate a life below our visual life above ground.
I did see the divers there, but I did take the boat. You stayed there and you go let me go for about 20 minutes, and it really was amazing. I actually thought it was, I don't want to say it's more impressive than Capri, but it was it was literally, it really was. So we did a lot. We went to a lot of different grottos and a little place, and he sort of explained everything. But and it really was amazing to do, and the water was very blue, no question about it. But so that was the blue grotto. So then we went, because we were a little hungry, so we went to the fishing village. And talk about that, because obviously we're on an island, and so there's a wonderful fishing village that you were telling me all about, where they have a fish market and they have fish restaurants, right?
Yes, of course. Well, we enjoy our food as Maltese, of course, but fish, being an island surrounded by that beautiful Mediterranean blue sea, of course we fish off it and we eat it. We enjoy our meat dishes, of course. Rabbit is one of the dishes, but being in a fishing village, obviously we'd expect to have the fish, Mediterranean fish. You can't always find the same fish, obviously, because we are very seasonal. We go with the season. So yes, we had a lovely lunch there with the fishing boats alongside our traditional brightly coloured boats, the lutsu, with the eye.
The eye, you told me, and they cover up the eye with some kind of... You're a little superstitious here for a Catholic country, right?
Well, the islands are predominantly Roman Catholic, but we're free to accept, and we accept everyone and all religions. Yeah, everyone can practice what they like. But we are a superstitious people. Yes, a superstitious people. For example, in the baby, the pram, they would give the little religious thing as a charm, but they'd give the horns to ward off the evil away from the baby pram. So it's a mix. It's a bit of a mix, which the church accepts as well. But that's us humans, us Maltese. We're a bit of a mix, as I always say.
So we were there actually on a day that wasn't the fishing market. So all the fish restaurant, which I believe was called La Nostra Padrona, I think we had a lovely meal there. And during on the market days, they have all the fish out there, right?
Yes, of course. One can go down on a Sunday. That's Sunday morning. The fishermen, ideally you buy your fish first thing in the morning, And some of them are so fresh. They're still live fish. Right. The octopus, the calamari and all that. You see them. They're still there, and believe you me, you can't get them any fresher than that. From the fisherman's boat straight to your table. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Then we decided we finally hit what is one of the most amazing cities in the Mediterranean, Valletta, the capital city of Valletta, which is where we are, just outside the gates here. And you took me around to some incredible things. I mean, it's a organized city. It's a grid-like city, and we went to the cathedral, I believe, St. John.
St. John's. St. John's, the co-cathedral, was the conventual church of the knights coming from nobility Europe.
The famous Knights of Malta, which are actually the Knights of St. John, right?
Yes, of course, from which the eight-pointed cross originated, the Maltese cross. Today, of course, they're stationed, their headquarters in Rome, and they carry on with their work even through the St. John's Ambulance Brigade. Right. However, Valletta, yes, they built their church over there, and beautiful artwork over there from Mattia Preti, Il Calabrese, to the worldwide renowned painting here inside St. John's, the beheading of St. John the Baptist.
By Caravaggio, right?
That's it, by Michelangelo Merisi Caravaggio, as he was known in the art world, one of the last paintings in his lifetime, and the only one known in the world that Caravaggio ever signed. He signed out of the blood that comes out of St. John's head.
As one does.
Well, before he came here, he had murdered the man. So
she gave me the whole story. It is a long story. You got to come and get it guided by Cynthia to give you the whole inside scoop on what happened with Caravaggio. Now, the other thing about this church is, exterior-wise, it's impressive, but it's really the interior that makes that cathedral come alive, right?
Of course, one of the knights' vows was poverty. They were monks at the end of the day, so externally they did not want to show the life they led within the doors, but their church, of course, to the God, to St. John the Baptist, had to have the best. So they also wanted to use the shock technique, Manneristan style, externally looking like a fort with that military aspect to it, but internally it's gilded from top to bottom. It's carved all over. The floors are a World Heritage Site with beautiful...
The floors were amazing. I mean, you pointed them out, and I had already seen them, and I'm like, wow. I mean, these are, I don't know what to look. You look at the ceiling, or you look at the walls, or you look at the floors, right?
Well, you've got to absorb it bit by bit, I think, and take some time inside St. John's the Co-Cathedral. That's definitely a must when visiting our capital city, Valletta. There's museums one can go to, Museum of Art, Museum of Archaeology, Manuel Theatre, which is one of the oldest functioning. So Valletta is a city which is alive, it's commercial.
It was a city of culture for the European...
2018, wow. European Capital City of Culture. The beautiful walls that surround it. It's beautiful. It's all on a grid pattern. 16th century city, of course, right. Named after the Grand Master. He was the head of the Knights, he was French, who defeated Suleiman in 1565.
He was one of the few that could, right?
Yes, Suleiman had never been defeated. The Ottoman Empire had never been defeated before in such a great way. So obviously Europe helped us with the funding of this beautiful capital city, of which we're very proud, of course.
Yeah, well, the other thing I love that you call the head of the Knights of the Order of St. John the Grand Master, which, so that it's like, it's where else can you go to? And of course, this actually is one of the locations, as we all know, for Game of Thrones. And boy, I can't believe how many movies have been filmed here. We went past, we're going to talk in another segment about one of the film sets here, but obviously Gladiator was here, Game of Thrones, tremendous. It's a giant film set because you have so many spectacular locations, right?
Yes, we do. Malta's, we're trying to promote ourselves also in that movie world. We have some older ones, such as Midnight Express. We've just been to Popeye's Village, to see. But yes, as James was saying, we're doing a lot, and we're out there competing, obviously, against a big world in the movie sphere. But Malta, it's a safe country. We speak English. The weather is fine. We never have snowstorms over here. And that's also attractions, especially military or water-based stories, such as Tom Hanks' Captain Phillips, that was all filmed on the water attacks in Valletta Harbour, So there's various movies, Troy, Shout of the Devil, Lee Marvin, Roger Moore. We're going to an older movie over there. So the list is endless. Da Vinci Code.
Of course. Yeah, it is pretty amazing. But then we sort of ended the day. We went up to the upper, I guess, Baraka Gardens, which are overlooking the incredible harbor, and we had an incredible view of the harbor. Cruise ships are down there, lots going on, and that was amazing too, right?
Valletta Harbour is a natural harbour, so for that we're proud. Very deep harbour, so any of the largest shipping and cruise lines can come in, be them big or small. But it's the reason why Malta was always wanted, because you go back to the past, to history. I mean, what were they looking for? A haven in the centre of the Mediterranean. So our harbour was very, very important. Let's say it's one of the two commercial harbours, big harbours we have in Malta. So definitely Upper Baraka, which were really fortifications, defences of the Italian knights. Today I would say we're no longer up there to defend, but for visitors to come and appreciate why Malta was always wanted. Yeah. The beauty of even the blue in the harbour, I think that is something to be highlighted. It's
amazing.
Not grey and murky.
No, it isn't. They say the blue harbour. The blue Danube. Well, this is really blue. Now and then, of course, unfortunately, you couldn't be with me the second day, and I ended up going to a wonderful Farson's Brewery, which is one of the oldest beers here. It actually was the brewery itself was built. I think it opened in 1950 something, right after the war, and it was a result of a merger of two different brands, and they have your main beer is called, what's it called? The
Chisk.
The Chisk. And I had a Chisk. I think it was a Chisk, a lager or something of some kind. It was amazing, and they had a whole history of. It's a great place to take groups, and I think you're probably going to be taking groups at some point, getting off a cruise ship, maybe. It was wonderful, and then I got a chance to go back to do all my interviews, and you're going to see a lot of these interviews with the Malta Tourism Authority CEO, and then I had a lovely meeting with the guy who is, and you're going to see this again, with the guy who's heading up the new Maritime Museum, and he's just a wealth of information, so you're going to see that. Anyway, that was day one and a little bit of day two, but then I met up with Cynthia for day three, and you're going to have to stay tuned for the next video. We're going to talk about where we go to Gozo. Beautiful, and we're going to talk about that here on Insider Travel Report. But meanwhile, Cynthia, tell us where our viewers, our travel advisors, can get in touch with you, because they might have a few clients for you.
Of course. Well, you're always welcome to come to Malta. I don't think there's too many Cynthias as licensed tourist guide on the islands, but Cynthia, you can contact me. I think the quickest and easiest way, carrying a mobile phone in our hands, is WhatsApp, which is free for all if there's internet, and the mobile number is +356. That's actually our prefix to Malta, so +356 9947 8338. So fairly easy numbers, 9947 8338. Please don't forget that prefix for Malta. Okay. Drop me a text anytime. You're more than welcome. We're small islands, but you're more than welcome.
Absolutely. And you have to come here. Malta is this gem in the Mediterranean that I think too few Americans know about, but a lot of them are going to know about it soon, so you better get in and talk with Cynthia and let her guide you around the island. All right, so stay tuned for our next episode where we're going to Gozo, which sounds kind of weird, but it was an amazing trip. So I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.